What is AI? For a long time, it felt like something out of the future. The intelligent supercomputer from our favorite movies, or the all-powerful robots from science fiction. Increasingly, though, AI is here, today. It's in Chinese car factories and the fields of Indian farmers. It's in our natural spaces and across our cityscapes. From tuk-tuks to TikTok, from Spotify to Shopee, from art to agriculture, AI today is as ubiquitous as the internet. I've ordered some tea, and it's going to get delivered by a drone. How do I solve this Rubik Cube? It's giving me steps now to solve. It's really impressive. I'm Aaron Maniam, and this is Raising Expectations, a journey through the strategic impacts of artificial intelligence, or AI for short.
Once you collect the data, that's where you will see all the magic of AI. It takes you from just understanding consumption to understanding trends.
When I was in school, I studied Charles Dickens's novel Great Expectations, which explores how the Industrial Revolution and its aftermath transformed Victorian England. Today, AI poses a different kind of revolution. Digital, automated, and with wide-reaching consequences.
What if I try to use my app and scan what's on the menu?
There isn't a rosemary chicken sandwich here. I might have invented or hallucinated about the rosemary chicken. It's a global phenomenon with especially diverse effects in different countries in Asia. So it sounds like they feel more independent after they use the app. They get to do a lot on their own.
You know my birthday?
I don't know your birthday, but I'd love to hear about it if you'd like to share.
AI today is speaking in a much more human-like voice and is part of how we see and experience the world. I've missed the train to Hogwarts. What alternatives do I have to get there?
Well, you could always look for a handy port key. Just be careful what you touch, you never know what might be enchanted.
This change is unprecedented in pace, breadth, and depth. And it forces us to ask, can AI think? Does it break barriers or build new ones? Can AI heal the world? What happens to truth, trust, and agency? Join me as I explore how AI is reshaping and raising our expectations for the future. When we think about artificial intelligence, or AI, what does the I in it really mean? Today, I'm going to explore two systems, ChatGPT and Gemini, to see how they make sense of the world, and also how they help me make sense of the world. Where am I?
Well, it looks like you're at a farmer's market or a fresh produce market somewhere outdoors. Definitely a nice spot to pick up some veggies.
It is. Can you tell what city I'm in?
Absolutely. I can see the price tags are in pounds, which definitely points to the UK.
What dishes could I make with this mix of veggies?
With those cabbages and carrots, you could easily do a hearty vegetable stew or maybe a nice bubble and squeak if you want something traditionally English.
I am fascinated by these purple cauliflowers. Aren't they lovely? Where are they from in the world?
Oh, they really do look gorgeous. They're often just a specialty variety that farmers grow for that fun pop of color. So they're not super unusual in terms of where they're from, but they definitely make your dish look amazing.
Great, thank you. Is this Big Ben?
It sure is. That's the famous clock tower at the Palace of Westminster. You've definitely got the right landmark.
Are you very, very sure?
Absolutely sure. That iconic clock face and the whole tower are definitely the one and only Big Ben in London. So, yep, you got it right.
I'm not so sure, you know. Look at this sign.
I see what you mean. If the sign is suggesting something different, let's double check. But from what I can see, it really does look like Big Ben. Maybe the sign is just pointing out something else nearby. But if you want to show me more details, I'm happy to take a look.
ChatGPT was great at Pimlico Market. It gave me ideas about what to do with the vegetables. It knew roughly what I was doing and where I was.
Well, hello there to your new friend. I have to say, he's got a really welcoming vibe.
It was much less good at identifying this monument, which looks a little bit like Big Ben, but it's much smaller and has a very different color scheme. So how come you didn't know that this was Little Ben?
Well, to be fair, from a distance, they do look pretty similar, and it's easy to mix them up, especially since Big Ben is the famous one everyone talks about.
So it looks like the I in AI might be intelligent in some ways, but also doesn't have some basic common sense that humans might have. Gemini, do you recognize this place?
This looks like Trafalgar Square in London. Are you visiting the National Gallery or planning to see something else?
That's right. I'm in Trafalgar Square right now. Do you know why there are so many bells heard while I'm here?
Today is October 25th, 2025. which means the Diwali on the Square celebration is happening.
Google's Gemini is great at a few things. One, it's nicely integrated to the rest of the Google suite. If I'm interested in bookstores, where should I go within a 10-minute walk?
First, there's Waterstones, about 100 yards away. Then, the ICA bookstore is about 0.2 miles away.
So it was able to give me directions to where I wanted to go. It was also able to canvass online data to give me contextual information. It knew that we were celebrating Diwali here in Trafalgar Square today, and that's why the bells are pealing as loudly and as regularly as they are. But was it giving me new information that I could not have found in an online search? Probably not. But it was able to give me information in real time while I'm here without having to go do an online search separately. So is it intelligent? Probably, in a way, and in a way that's actually very useful for me as a traveler. I think I'll go to the Clarence for a meal. Can you show me the directions on Google Maps?
Yes, I can. Here is the link to the directions on Google Maps. Link to Google.
Great, thank you. Does AI think? Is there a spark of consciousness behind those complex algorithms? Or is it all just a very intricate trick? The truth is, AI doesn't think in the way we do. It doesn't feel, daydream, or wonder about its own existence. But AI does something else. It recognizes patterns in data that we can't. You might say this is the AI version of the intuitions we develop from experience, without step-by-step logic. It predicts outcomes with a speed and accuracy we can't match. And it plans for large numbers of possible scenarios with a logic beyond human capacity. It's not thinking with a brain made of neurons and memories. It's thinking with a digital brain made of code and calculations. Its intelligence began as a kind of brute force logic, exhaustively crunching every possibility. Today's AI has evolved beyond that, using learned heuristics and compressed representations to narrow the space it searches. This type of genius is different, but in many ways no less powerful than what we call thinking today. So does AI really think? That's almost definitely still up for debate. But perhaps the more important question is this. What does it mean to be a thinking being in a world where machines can already do so much of it for us?
In my view, I in the AI could be about me, I as an individual self. It's human agency, so retaining I, myself, as at the center of how you're going to use AI.
Being in a driverless car like this is a whole sensory experience. Hello there. I'm recording my voice right now. Hello. Hi. Yes, I'm using an AI. Oh. Hi, Rokid. What does this wooden sign say? It's telling me that I'm at the Xiaohe Straight Street Historical and Cultural Block, which looks about right, given that this is one of the older parts of the street. I'm going to check out this shop, which sells sweets and other interesting delectables. Promising, promising. It's taken a photograph. It says, I'm holding a packet of Nanjing-style duck flavor snacks from the brand Teijin Lai. This is Mo Yu Shuang, a spicy konjac snack from the brand Weilong. Now, I happen to know that this is true because I eat a lot of this. These smart glasses work by pairing directly with your phone. The AI's answers to questions come back in two ways: spoken through tiny speakers built into the frame, and as text projected on the lenses. It's like having a hands-free interface floating right in front of you. I'd love to take a video of the crew, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, crew, everybody say hello. Excellent. So I feel like I'm here visiting the future, a bit like James Bond encountering Q for the first time. And I'm here to meet Misa, who's doing some wonderful work at Rokid, applying AI in smart glasses.
We truly believe that AI is going to change everybody's life. So what's the next generation smart devices for the AI technology? We've been thinking about it for like a couple of years. And it turns out the AR technology will be the best platform for the AI.
Okay. Hi, Rokid. What does this sign say? Xiaohe Straight Street, Trusted Consumption District. Sounds about right. There's a lot of food here and a lot of things that people would consume. Hi, Rokid. Hi, Rokid. Hi, Rokid. So tell me more about the products themselves. What are they being used for? Who's using them?
So we now get more than 200,000 orders. So I think in the coming 1 or 2 years, it's going to more than 1 million people will use our products. Like me, I use it every day. I wake up, I put the glasses on, I can see the time and the weather and my daily schedule. Okay. So it changed my lifestyle.
Right.
You know, before the Rokid glasses, I check my phone too often. But with the glasses, because every message is just in front of me, so we can talk. If the message is not that important, I just ignore it then.
Okay.
So talk to the AI, you can search by the AI, you can do the translation and the navigation stuff. So I think it's pretty useful.
So can I try this translation function?
Oh, sure, yeah, just put it on.
Okay. Okay.
So now I'm speaking English, and you can see English subtitle just in
Yes.
front of you.
Yeah.
And I just, change my language to Chinese. Okay. 欢迎来到杭州。我现在讲中文，你可以看到这个
Yes.
所有的中文。
Yeah, thanks for having me. I can see that you're speaking in Chinese now, but I can see the translation.
I'm going to change to another language. おはよう、ありがとうございます。
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah. Very good. That's great. And it's really quite seamless. I'm seeing the text come out almost immediately.
Yeah. It's about in 1 second. I think it is pretty fast and it's real time. And you know what? When we talk, and we still got the eye contact. So I think it's pretty important.
Yeah, it doesn't disrupt the conversation.
Yeah.
These look quite nice. Let's see if I can manage to buy some. Hello.
Hello, 你好。
Ni hao. I don't speak Mandarin, but my spectacles can translate your Mandarin into English. What is this?
这是北京的驴打滚，
This is Beijing's
北京特色驴打滚。
Beijing's rolling donkey. Maybe that's a metaphor for what this actually is.
这是杭州特色桂花糯米糕，
This is characteristic osmanthus glutinous rice cake of Hangzhou. How long have you been selling these?
红色8年，
8 years.
哎，8年。
Oh, very good. Okay, 8 years.
是米和红豆。
Hongdo, red beans. Red bean.
哎，对。
Ah, okay.
要不要来点糖？
Little bit. Thank you. How much is it?
12块钱。
12 yuan. Oh, good. Really nice stuff. No. I think I've made a new friend and acquired some new favorite food. Thank you. 谢谢你. Okay. What else do we need? I'm sorry, I started eating the thing. These glasses are clearly a new technology. They're not perfect. The technology is still emerging. But they got me by today. They helped me to know where I was. They helped me to translate and to communicate with people around me. They helped me to buy things that I might not have been able to do on my own. We don't know how this technology is going to grow, but I can totally see a real possibility where they become part of my extended self in the future. Home to DeepSeek and Alibaba, Hangzhou is one of China's AI hotspots. Further south lies Shenzhen, a city long known as the world's factory. But that's only half its story. Today, Shenzhen is not only building for the world, it's building the future. All ready for consumption. It's an innovation hub, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. At the heart of that revolution is embodied AI. Intelligent machines getting physical bodies to interact with our world.
Walker 可以帮我拿个网球吗？
好的，我现在帮忙抓取网球。
It communicates like a human being.
Oh.
Let's see. One more game.
Okay, one more. Let's try the apple this time.
Apples, okay. Walker, 我想吃个苹果。
好的，我现在帮忙抓取苹果。
Okay. Apple is here.
Yes.
So I would like to change. More difficult, okay.
Oh,
Let's see
okay,
what happens.
nice.
So it changed not only the locations,
Yeah.
but the hires.
Yes.
Difference.
Yeah. So will it take both?
It's come.
or-
You can pick the
Yeah.
apples.
Interesting. What if you asked it to identify things outside of these 4 items? Is that part of the reasoning capability that it now has?
Of course.
Let's try, okay? So I'm going to draw a tree, some flowers, or maybe I'll draw a sun as well, and a few birds.
Wow, you're a good drawer.
I try. Let's see what it can do.
Walker, 请告诉我们白板上画的图画是什么
白板上画的是一个树和一些花朵。
？A tree and flowers.
Wow. Okay.
Walker, 请告诉我们白板上画的是怎么样的一个天气？
白板上画的是一个晴天，有太阳和云朵。
Not bad.
He can identify
Yeah.
the pictures around, and then also he can identify the emotions. Let me show you.
Okay.
Walker, 请告诉我白板上面画的图画的情绪。
白板上的图画看起来有点悲伤，因为
A little
他
bit
的
sad.
表情是皱着眉头。
Because he
Interesting.
has a
Yeah.
yeah.
Walker doesn't just do fun things, it's already being put to work.
我在工作，请注意避难。
According to the market data, solely in China, there's 30 million lackage of labor force, majorly in the Chinese factories. So that's why we are cooperate with the industry. Industry robot work as one, just show you how he work in the factories. Driven by the AI, he use what is the brain net to connecting with all the smartest agents in the factories. And then he will get the orders. He can finish the work without human assistance.
What's the performance been like? What's the accuracy rate? Have there been mistakes that you've had to rectify?
Right now, we just accumulated over 700 hours working hours by this version in the BYD factory in Changsha, and 30% of one person's efficiency. We would like to see 80% by the end of 2027 or early of the 2028. Latest version for S2 can swap the battery by his own in 3 minutes. He can work 24 hours a day and 7 days a week without any stop. More than that, we're working with Foxconn in Zhengzhou and in Shenzhen as well. Other than that, there's the third sectors, smart logistics. We cooperate with the Shunfeng in Shenzhen airport. So the EV and consumer sectors, productivity and logistics.
Having seen what AI can do, it's very clear to me. AI is no longer just a tool. It's now capable increasingly of perceiving, of planning, of predicting, of suggesting things to us, of supporting our decisions. It's changing the way in which we live, learn, and move at a pace that we're only just beginning to grasp. So does all this mean that we humans are irrelevant? I don't think so. I think we're being challenged to evolve, to develop innately human skills that no AI, no matter how brilliant, can replicate. These are skills of interpretation, of meaning-making, of evaluation and assessment. Ultimately, using AI isn't about being replaced. It's about redefining what it means to be irreplaceable. What is AI? Does it come from a magical cloud in the sky? Or is it something more grounded? At its core, AI isn't magic. It's a field of computer science focused on creating machines that can perform tasks which typically require human intelligence. Things like problem solving, learning, understanding, language, or recognizing patterns. And to answer that question about clouds versus physical stuff, AI is both in a way. The magic cloud part is the software, the algorithms and the oceans of data AI learns from. That software often lives on powerful computers in data centers, which we access through the internet. That's the cloud. So when you ask AI a question, your request travels through these massive digital brains. But those brains aren't just floating in space. They run on real physical hardware, computer chips, processors, and specialized graphics cards. Engines that crunch the numbers, process the data, and run the algorithms. So every AI decision, every generated image, every text response is ultimately powered by and through very real machines somewhere in the world. AI is smart software fueled by massive amounts of data running on powerful physical computers.
When I use AI, I use it to complement the parts of me or aspects of my work that I am not very happy with. So, a more concrete example is my writing. As an academic, my writing sometimes tends to be rather dull. So I will use AI to, jazz it up, and I will use AI to explore phrasing. I will use AI to articulate my insights, but not generate them.
Okay, work plan, how much? 400. Wow. Name 2 benefits of using AI. Wow. Yeah, I heard sorry, although I saw, but okay.
Come 2 benefits of using AI in your work.
Yeah.
Increase productivity because it saves time.
Okay.
Yeah. Increase effectiveness as well because when we use AI to put in, right, it helps to structure the sentence and the flow.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. AI for meetings, 200 points. Today's workshop is really about learning how to adopt workplace-related AI.
And transcribe.
Good job, 200 points. To help supercharge our work productivity. In this room, there are a group of very special people, all the nurse leaders. They actually lead many different teams, from the inpatient setting to the outpatient settings.
We just have to talk to the team doctor and then have the discharge plan for home medical.
In specialized areas such as the intensive care unit, our operating theatre nurses, also our nurses supporting home care. Come, who wants to choose?
Meetings for 300.
Okay, use bot NUHS to draft your first ward or unit meeting agenda.
Here at Alexandra Hospital, nurses are using Bot NUHS, an AI assistant developed by the National University Health System. Think of it as ChatGPT, but trained on NUHS's internal workflows and used for day-to-day hospital operations, not medical diagnosis.
They asked on more specific, so we answered the questions. For example, like one, it's a regular meeting for ward nurses to reinforce on quality improvement, infection control, and then it came a more specific and concise meeting minutes over here.
Okay, next. Communication, how much? 400. 400. Okay, wow, 400. So, wow, okay. Use Canva AI to design a playful and inviting EDM for the Nurses' Day celebration. Whoever got your answer, squeeze, come to the front.
Okay, we have already. We key in all the requirements and this is what we have. This is the first version. We can always enhance, but when you look at it, it's already very fun and fun-loving for a Nurses' Day.
Thank you, good job. Okay. Your output is very much dependent on the command prompt that you provide. So do try out and you will be surprised, right, what they can actually do for you.
We've seen examples of how AI can produce intelligent-looking output and be really efficient to enhance productivity. Today, we're seeing how AI can be applied much more broadly, even by people who are not technical experts. What have you found easiest and also hardest about persuading your colleagues to come on board with using AI?
In today's workshop, right, I didn't start by teaching them anything at all. I just throw them a task through the Jeopardy game. Fastest fingers first, tap faster, tap faster. They roughly know, okay, I have this AI software, but they may not have used it. You use the AI function, fast, right? So I was able to help them to see how easy it is. Just with a few clicks of the button, they are able to get their things done as fast or even faster than how they usually do. Yeah, so I think the easy part is that. Can you show your command prompt? Okay. Hang on, hang on. Wait, hang on. Okay. You want to share again? Okay, chill, relax. Okay. The difficult part is really about finding the right time because there's always priorities, clinical priorities, on stage, backstage, admin work and all that. So what I do is in meetings that I run, I'll just infuse a little bit of AI here and there to get them interested, and they do come forward and ask, hey, how did you do that? Yeah, so that's where I will start to share. Yeah. What I usually do, right, is I will key in the same command prompt, different platforms. Then I will compare what would be the output. Have you heard about PAIR? Think ChatGPT, but designed by GovTech.
PAIR is an AI-powered chatbot developed for Singapore's public offices. It helps lighten the load of writing, research, and routine administrative tasks.
Maybe we need to write a paper on COVID. With PAIR, you can actually aggregate all related information to help you write your papers.
So Doreen, what do you think is most promising about the use of AI in AH?
We are in an aging population, and that includes healthcare professionals as well. These healthcare professionals can offer their years of wisdom. So I think really with AI, we can even expand or redesign jobs. Yeah. To enhance the career longevity out there. On top of that, it is really helping us to design better care and also to enhance and address manpower sustainability, really.
So we asked to highlight all the positive comments and areas for improvement. Then after that, we asked to break down the result into percentage. Then after that, we asked to tabulate the data into a table form.
Can you imagine in training department, right? We run so many courses and there are so many data coming in. Hand on heart, we may not even be able to have enough time to sit down and truly look at our data. But with just a few clicks, right, we can generate the outputs a lot faster, and you can spend more time analyzing and triangulating or validating to see whether the data makes sense. And this can actually help you to be more effective in your administrative work.
Which of these things are the most useful for all of you?
Currently, we are using a lot of MediVoice to help to come up with the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. When you finish the recording, there is this thing called transcribe audio, and then you can actually use prompt to generate meeting minutes.
Data analysis, I think it's something that we do every day. So with the AI in place, it helps us to work out the process and also to make sense of what we are monitoring. That helps us to also find the data analysis more meaningful.
For all of you personally, right, what are you anxious, worried about, maybe uncertain, and how would you deal with that?
I'm very much concerned about AI dependency. It limits the kind of the human being to be able to utilize their own creativity. As a healthcare practitioner, we need to be very critical about that because how we deliver care for our patients, it still requires a lot of that human connection between people.
Don't forget, we are a professional body. We have been trained for years with all our professional scientific knowledge. So AI should help complement what we do, and like what you all have shared earlier on, to build a stronger narrative, building or enhancing clarity. But it should never be 100% dependent on AI. We really have to know that sweet spot, to ensure that it helps us rather than the other way around.
AI is evolving so rapidly. And to be quite honest, I'm not interested with anything that is technology. I'm a paper and pen person. So the one anxiety is catching up. Racing with the AI.
And so can I ask you, how do you think you can keep up?
Growth mindset because you know that you have to stay relevant. It's really like no choice just have to do it.
We have come to the end of today's workshop. Thank you so much for your participation today. I hope it has been fun learning, and continue to spread the knowledge to all your teams, okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
We often hear worries about whether AI is going to substitute for humans. After spending today at Alexandra Hospital, I'm not too worried about this. Today we saw nurses using AI in ways that required them to still provide background information, to provide context, and in fact the AI was prompting them to provide that context when it wasn't sufficient. Nurses had to make decisions. They had to make value judgments, they had to make assessments and evaluations in ways that an AI cannot do. For all these reasons, I'm not worried that AI is going to substitute for human beings.
Never think for us. Thinking is my job. Don't take it away from me, and you cannot compete with me. I can connect dots that I do not see. AI cannot connect dots it cannot see.
If you think about the actual sheer volume, then AI is always going to have an advantage over humans. But I think it's a really important thing to remember what it is that humans are better at doing than AI. Whatever use you put of AI has to be initiated by a human definition of what the problem that you're trying to solve is, and that problem definition and formulation and framing is very much a human-led activity.
Whether you're 4, 14 or 40, whether you're sitting for exams or standing for elections, whether you're an artist or an aviator or an athlete, AI is changing the game for all of us.
For the baseline questions, for the standard questions, we want AI to actually help us to do it, and then students are able to do more of the self-directed. We want our teachers to focus their time in the classroom to do high-order thinking questions, to do the application question, to scaffold for students in terms of their thinking, to infuse a critical thinking as well.
Here in Woodland Secondary School, several teachers have been exploring how to use AI in their work.
It doesn't mean that AI will replace everything we do. Okay, what it does, it helps us as a teacher. We are the main driver of our class, right? Our pedagogy, of our instruction.
They've been exploring how to empower themselves as educators, as well as empower their students to be better learners.
We have one teacher, we have 30 to 40 students in the class. How do you actually check each and every one to make sure that they have done that?
Today, some of them are gathering in subject groups to look at what they've been learning and discuss new possibilities.
The system will force the student, they have to show that part in order to gain the credit for the whole question.
There are 3 questions in my head at the moment. First, what are students gaining from using AI? Which bits do they benefit from? Which bits do they enjoy the most? Second, how do teachers find this most useful? Which are the aspects that they really gain from? Do they save time? Do they give more real-time feedback? And the third thing that's really nagging me is, do all students improve at the same pace when they use AI? Or do stronger students get better faster?
Students can actually do some self-directed learning. Looking at the feedback given by AI, they can then correct the mistakes themselves, and then if they have more issues, right, then they can actually approach the teachers for help. But AI can actually help us to complement our teaching duties.
So you're going to use the AI to generate the quiz questions. You feed it all the content, and then it will generate the questions for you.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So with the AI feedback, we will have to look through it and then see whether it's accurate. Got it. If it's not, then we will make changes.
What exactly did the AI do for you here?
The system is able to check the student's work and give a customized feedback based on what the student typed.
I see.
The benefits of FA match, right, is something called randomization. So if let's say you want to create multiple questions, you actually don't have to type the question like 10 times. You just need to set some variable, set some limits.
And then it just generates different questions, is it? Okay, that's useful.
And then you duplicate the same thing like 10 times or what in one activity.
So that they get practice over and over
correct.
again.
Different numbers but the same concept. Maybe it takes about like 5 minutes for you to create a question, but duplicating the question after that takes maybe 3 seconds. The hint is an AI-based prompt that responds to the student's work. So the mistakes are seen on the system. It generates for us like a heat map, you know, of responses.
Right.
Which student got which question
Oh, that's
wrong.
so. And you see the whole class's heat map.
When I go into class the next time, I know exactly what am I going to do.
Now that I've seen AI finding its way into classrooms, I want to know, how are students taking it?
Now, for today, I want you all to key in your response on SLS. If they say 4 marks, I need 4 points. Okay? So I want you to actually write down the observations, and then later on, feedback will be given to you by the AI. So now let me go through very briefly on the practical.
On your table, you have W, X, and Y.
For today's lesson, I want my students to practice past year exam question, which is mainly on experiments involving oxidation and reduction.
Who still remember the color change after a reaction?
The whole objective is really to observe the color change between different chemicals when they are mixed together.
Colorless, no?
Brown.
Brown, excellent.
And also to learn how to test for gases.
There. Oxygen. What are you trying to find out here? Oxygen. Okay. Whether oxygen is present or not. Yeah.
This is my first time in a science lab since I was 16.
Colorless to brown.
Putting it into the SLS already, is it? Okay.
What I've done for the lesson is I've included this AI feature called the short answer feedback system, whereby students, as they submit their work, the AI feedback system can give customized feedback tailored to each individual student's response. Student A's feedback will be different from student B depending on the quality of their answers. The AI is not telling them the full answer, but how they can improve on their answer. Where is it missing?
The next question, right, you do better. Okay, make sure that your answers are specific.
So in the past, when teachers go through the question, we tend to perhaps give them the model answer. But what students need is really how can I be better?
Wherever there is bubbling, you must write.
And every student's improvement is a bit different. Right. So what we are seeing here is a lot more differentiated instruction, okay, whereby we can really cater to individual students' learning needs. And I think that is really very powerful, especially for a bigger class.
Wrong, never mind. It's okay.
I think with the use of AI, it's very low stake. It's like, okay, I will just try this and see what feedback do I get.
Is that useful for you to know what was right and what was not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also kind of enjoy that they encourage you. And
Yeah,
they say,
keep up the good. Yeah.
Photo also need. That's weird. Okay. But because there's fire.
Some students are okay with just the help from the AI, but some students may need additional help even after the AI feedback.
The test tube feel hotter, must say.
With the help of technology, I can spend more time to really support students.
So for the first one, right, that one is a bit difficult. You have to feel.
Which you
so
did
that
feel
is,
you were saying it's hot, right? It's hot.
Yeah. No, that was when I put the flame.
But actually, the reaction is hot. So that one, many students actually miss.
There was no heat.
No, that is isothermic.
Really?
It's actually isothermic. So this kind of thing is like sometimes you missed it, then you miss. It's okay. You just learn.
1 mark only.
That's part of the 4 marks, is it?
Yeah, that's part of the 4 marks. It's not about 1 mark only. Must learn lah.
In the diverse class, in the mixed ability class, we help every student succeed, giving them the tools to learn a different way, and the learning outcome is still achieved as I consolidate the learning as a class together.
I want to actually see, right, okay, what are the common errors by the class? All right, just let me generate a while. This is the analysis. Most common error, some people say oxidizing agent, this is wrong, it's reducing agent. Okay? Yeah, it turned the KMNO4 from purple to colorless. Okay, but some of you correctly identify, but you didn't get full marks because the key evidence is missing.
Do all students gain equally, or do the stronger students actually gain more through the use of AI? Are they streaking ahead much faster, while weaker students actually are less able to manage?
Perhaps the more motivated students may gain a little bit more because they are more self-directed.
Right.
But I think it is a journey.
Okay, most of you, miss the initial color change from purple to colorless. Doing the experiment is one thing, but writing down the keywords is another thing. So take note of the comments given by the AI, all right, to help you with the answers.
Even for the so-called weaker students or less motivated students, the question is really how can we really help them to embrace this use of technology to help themselves, to be more self-directed.
It sounds like it also gives you more time to spend on those students, right? Rather than those who are already able to do.
So for these students, we will need to have more patience and to never give up and really to think of EdTech as an enabler for their growth.
The AI will tell you what missing information you should be writing. So take note of the comments.
After spending time in Woodlands, I'm struck by a simple truth. AI's power isn't just in speeding up the strongest performers. It's also in revealing who needs support and giving us new ways to offer it. When we take this lens beyond the classroom, we begin to realize just how endless the possibilities can be. Hello, how are you feeling today? The tree says, I'm experiencing low growth at the moment, which means I'm not feeling my best. My current conditions don't seem ideal for thriving. This is Tille Henriana, Henry's lime. What conditions would you need to grow better. Increased humidity, consistent watering, and stable temperature. This looks like a tree who knows itself really well. So what's going on here, guys? What have I just experienced?
So what you're seeing is the data, the telemetry coming from the tree sensor. So that's collecting things like temperature, humidity, the growth over time, as well as the lean angle. And that data's going into our platform where it's analysed. We use AI to extract those insights that you saw there to help you understand how to care for this tree at this moment in time.
Right, very interesting. And how many trees have this kind of sensor?
Right here we've got 12 sensors on 12 trees of different species.
Why did we start doing this?
Good question. Why did we? Why did we do that?
Well, so where you see these trees now, this is their second home after Chelsea Flower Show. So it's kind of like the Oscars for our industry. You know, it's a place where you can showcase innovation, you can bring people together. It creates a lot of dialogue. So at Chelsea Flower Show, this garden was really an exploration of this technology, you know, sensors, AI. How can these emergent technologies be used to help preserve and protect urban trees? This Szechuan pepper's tagged as well, if you want to ask it a question.
I might ask the pepper a question. How old are you?
Urban trees around the world are particularly under threat. Many urban trees don't survive beyond 10 years.
I'm 15 years old, it says. I've developed a strong structure and I'm still growing, especially as I establish my roots.
You know, with climate change, with increasing urbanisation, with pollution, with the stresses that we're putting trees under, we thought it was important to experiment with these new technologies, working with Avanard and Steve and the team to develop a way to try and understand more, I suppose, about how trees are faring, gather data over a long term and provide real useful insights to see how we can care better.
What is the best thing about being in this urban garden? I enjoy being part of a diverse environment where I can provide shade, beauty and habitat for various wildlife.
And you can ask it non-tree stuff and see how it responds.
Who is your favourite singer?
Good question. Ask who's the handsomest man in the world.
I'm a tree, so I don't have the ability to listen to music or have personal preferences like a favourite singer. How spicy are your peppers? I'm a tree, not a gardener, so I don't know the precise spiciness of my peppers. But my dried husk can be used as Sichuan pepper, which adds a numbing citrus flavour to dishes. For detailed information on spice levels, I recommend consulting a culinary expert. Not bad, Steve. You've taught it to deflect. I'm very impressed.
It is a politician.
I love it. Amazing.
So this, where we're standing now, is called Pigeon Triangle. And as you can see, this is Manchester Piccadilly Station. You've got traffic all around, but this is where the garden, the trees that you saw, are going to eventually end up here. So the idea is that we are trialling these trees in this very harsh urban environment. This will be a new threshold to the park. As people arrive from the station, they walk through the garden, then down into the park. So it brings it further out into the city.
So we're heading there, basically?
Yeah.
So tell me a bit more about how your vision for this park is going to transform with the technology that we're using.
We're going to apply the same types of technology we used at Chelsea Flower Show, but a lot more mature and a lot more extensive in terms of the kinds of data we can capture.
So for example, this tree here, you can see the one with the kind of rusty orange leaves. The team here have been really struggling to know what's wrong with it, why it's not thriving. So having more information, having more a kind of advanced warning system will just give a clearer picture to the team what's actually happening to that tree, and then they can take action with actual data to back it up rather than just guesswork.
Well, interesting thing is when you're building this kind of park, in nature, it'll take decades to self-selecting what species works better. Here, we're trying to make that succession really, really quick in such a compressed time. So having that information, you have better understanding of what species works in this location, because until you really plant something, you don't know 100% of what works and how it works, and each trees have different conditions when they arrive to the site.
Shifting gears slightly, what is the vision for how the public will interact with nature in this space?
Yeah, so it's not all about the maintaining and caring of the trees, right? It's about how the public perceives the technology and can benefit and enjoy it. So a lot of what we're doing is thinking about from a STEM educational, experiential perspective. People can come into the park, interact with the trees, using things like augmented reality. They can really engage So tapping into what we saw at the Chelsea Flower Show with Tree Talk, really building on that as a way to use their imagination, interrogate these trees, find out more about the environment, find out about things like the bioindicators, the pollinators, and how they can benefit the environment. The sensors that we're using, they're subtle, they'll be out of view. You can opt in or out. You can enjoy it. You can get that extra level of knowledge and experience by using technology if you want, or you can just sit around and enjoy nature.
Technology there can add another layer. It doesn't necessarily take away from the experience of being in a natural landscape. As Steve said, you can opt in or you can opt out.
I love this. You know, there's a line in Shakespeare's As You Like It where he describes the forest of Arden, and he says that there are books in the running brooks and a lesson in every tree.
Yeah.
And it feels like the sensors can help us to do that. In 1959, the British scientist and writer C.P. Snow, Charles Percy Snow, gave a lecture titled The Two Cultures. The two cultures he identified were the culture of science and technology on the one hand and humanities and the social sciences on the other. And he argued that these two cultures being separated was really impeding how well we could address some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity. This argument that C.P. Snow made is even more important today as we deal with AI, because AI is highlighting quite how inter- and multidisciplinary so many of the challenges of humanity are. I find myself asking, as AI pushes the two cultures to converge, is it breaking barriers or quietly building new ones that could be even harder to cross? That's where we go next.